Right now, where we're up to right now is that this is where we're currently up to. This picture, right? This picture is where we're up to. This picture makes sense that the
you
circle.
Want to be in or no?
The circle is 16.8.
Alright, no problem.
When you have the circle going around the square, this is the numbers, right? So I want to quickly pick up from the second wide line on the page. You see, Amalei Markashisha Bred Rav Chisda Rav Ashi. Because 16.8 is still not 24, right? Right?
Yeah.
So he said, Misavers, do you think Gavra, a person ba'am siyasat, a person sits in one amma? Kama? No. Tlosa Gavri, 3 people, Bertarti Amsa, Yasvi. 3 people sit in 2 ammas. Correct? So, Kama Havelahu, how much space does 24 people occupy? How much space, Kama Havelahu, how much space does 24 people take up? Because if 24 people, if 3 people sit in 2 ammas, how much does 24 people sit in? Kama Havelahu, 2/3, 16. Shitzer, the word says, Shitzer, 16. Kama, Anon, we need to have 16.8. In order for us to have Rebbe Sukkah, right? In order for us to have Rebbe Sukkah, we need 16.8. Are the other others masking? The Gemara says loidak. Loidak. We're not being so precise. The Gemara says wait. So really, Eli, your sukkah needs to be how big?
16.
No, 1 second. But if you want to have Rebbe's sukkah inside,
16.8.
16.8. And Rabbi Yochanan was telling you 24, which comes out to 16.
Right.
So Rabbi Yochanan was telling you a little less than what's required. If you, again, you need to have...
estimate over. No.
Exactly, because if you need to have Rebbe's sukkah inside, it needs to be 16.8. You can't say 16. The Gemara says... When do you say that you're not precise? L'chumra. That's only when you're trying to be more stringent. So you go a little bit above.
16.8 is good, and you say 17.
Exactly, gavaldik. If you go above 16.8 to 17, like Ramos is saying, comma l'kula mi'aminon loidak. Do we to be lenient? Do we ever say loidak? Question mark. Okay, you ready? This is the new Gemara. You ready, everybody? Saying?
This ends up.
What?
Done?
No. So that's
not a new Gemara.
I apologize.
Yaakov, now you heard it enough times.
Oh, this is you're saying this is tonight's Gemara.
This is tonight's Gemara. Baisa, here we go. Baisa, look at this. Baisa, you're going to have such an off from this, Baisa. Yehuda?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you
time. This is chizik. This is going to be chizik.
I'm going to give you ta'anug. Look at this.
Like Yanai's dips.
Yehuda, I'm telling you. Baisa. Yehuda. Look at this. If 24 people sit in a circle, and you draw a circle around 24 people, so each person is an amma. So you draw a circle. Let's say I'm sit back to back. 24 people. So you draw. It's not. I'm sorry. Every person's an amma. I apologize. Says the Gemara.
2 people, 3.
So, I'm sorry. You're right. I was right. Amalei Rav. What's that? I jumped the gun. Amalei Rav Asi Rav Ashi.
Hi, you heard that?
Rav Asi said to Rav Ashi, La'olam, really, Gavra, a person, we're going back. A person really takes up 1 amma space, put a comma. But said, before I say the next line, I want you just to keep in mind, you have that if 24 people are sitting in a circle and you draw a circle around them, then you come out to 24.
Right.
And how big is Eli? How big is this now? If this is 24, because there's 24 people around.
A third.
How big is that?
8.
8, because 8 times 3 is 24.
3-1 ratio, yeah.
3 to 1. What happens? Somebody said the Gemara is going to say this circle is not drawn from the outside around the people.
From the inside.
The circle is drawn on the inside.
So
watch this. So everybody's sitting here. Look at this. These things are the people. Now draw the circle like this.
Are their legs extended?
So now it's 16.8.
We're not talking there's actually people.
1 second. I want you to tell me. Listen to this.
How do you find out that measurement?
Watch this. You take off.
No, watch. Somebody said watch. Gavaldik. Wait a second. Look what. Wait a second. What? 1 second to the
This
clip.
better be good.
Watch this, Mo. You're gonna have so much annoyed. Wait a
This better
second.
be good.
Wait a second. You're gonna have so much annoyed.
If you hit me with another fraction, I'm out.
Matter of fact, Mo, it's gonna be so geschmack. You're gonna dance. Rabbi side, listen to this. Listen, I'm saying. Here to here was how much?
8.
But now you're putting the people on the outside. So look at each end. You're flipping the guy. You're putting the circle inside the man.
I'm a closer.
So an amma closer from each side. Because if you were drawing the circle
So
around
now you
me,
need 22
now you're
arms.
drawing the
12,
circle
so
over here.
not 24 is
Wait,
12.
wait. I want to know just the length. Just this line.
Six.
So it's gonna be 6.
This line is going to be 6.
6 times 3 is 18.
Because take the circle start
That's
from.
just garbage.
Look at this. How should I get out? Look, before the circle.
There's not
Look.
actually people in the
Watch.
circle.
Right,
Exactly.
Just
One second.
We understand. We got it.
That's
The
a
circle's
good
around. Now we're going inside. So
We're
now
going
flip.
inside. You can't measure inside.
No, you measure.
Yeah, imagine from
No, Rabbi Yochanan is saying 24 people have to sit around the circle, not on the inside of the circle.
Yeah, but an amma was width, not
No, a person thinks of an amma, square amma.
square.
There you go.
Amma by amma. So now, Rabbi says it clear. So now,
more than an amma by an amma.
Rabbi says,
now up to 18.
so now we're up to 18.
It's us.
So look, Rabbi said, look how he touches. Look how he touches. Rabbi said, look at this. Rabbi said, you have to, Rabbi said, listen, please, get a pencil. Rabbi said, listen to this. Rabbi said, no. Rabbi Yochanan, Mokim Gavri, like a chashiv. This we have to add in, please. I beg you, Rabbi said, listen to this, please. Rabbi Yochanan, Mokim Gavri, like a chashiv. He does not consider the place of the people. Are you right? In Mokim Gavri, he does not consider the place, and this I wrote on the side. He doesn't consider the circle around. He doesn't consider the people on the inside of the circle. The people are on the outside of the circle. After like a chashiv, you have the rebellion. Rabbi Yochanan Mokim Gavri like a chashiv. He does not consider the people. You have to write this on the side, on the inside of the circle. The people are on the outside of the circle. The circle is drawn from their
Who
back.
said to make the circle around that way, not around
That's what the Gemara is saying right now. The Gemara is saying that's how you want to come up with what you want to figure out how you get to a close number. You have to draw the circle. We misunderstood him. We understood that the people have to be inside. If the people are inside, then it's 24. Excuse me, then it's 24 amas. But if the people on the inside, then you have to deduct an amma from each end. For the people on the camera, if this thing was 8, and now the circle, instead of being around the people, it's on the inside of the people. So look at each side. Move everybody say the diameter starts 1 amma closer on each side because we're going in front of the people, not
But now
around the
this line
people.
doesn't make sense because the sukkah doesn't fit 24
It's
people.
nothing to do with the
One
circle.
second.
The
So
whole
now,
point of the is the circle,
Rabbi
right?
Yochanan says if you have a round circle, that 24 people can sit around it. They can, the people,
24 people can't fit in the sukkah.
they're not around it. No, but they have to be able to sit around it. A round
If
circle.
they're around the sukkah, they can't fit inside.
No.
Outside the sukkah.
Ah, you're trying to say maybe their bodies is the wall.
No. It doesn't. Rabbi say the point is not that the people should be in the sukkah. He wants to give a measurement. Listen, Tishma. He wants to show how big his sukkah has to be. If 24 people can sit around the sukkah on the outside, that sukkah is large enough. We don't care the people in out. It's just a way to determine the measurement. So how do you have a sukkah if 20 people sit around it? So Rabbi says, look at this.
Why don't we do the square?
Rabbi Yochanan, oh no! Now, wait a second. Listen to this. You're so right. If this 16.8 holds a square. You right, Matt? You agree?
Yeah.
So this is 18. Would it hold a square?
Yes.
If this circle was 16.8 and it held
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if it's 18, does it hold a square?
No.
Of course.
Easy.
16.8 holds a square. So now we can say, oh, he went a little bit more. Oh, he wasn't so accurate. He went a little bit more to 18 instead of 16.8. Gavaldik. Says the Gemara here. You ready? Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Said. Rabbi Yochanan, please, Rabbi Said. Write this down. I beg you, write this down. Rabbi Yochanan, Mokim Gavri like a chashiv. I wrote on the side. He does not consider the people sitting inside the sukkah, but they're sitting on the outside. And now the diameter, this is what I wrote. The diameter is 2 amma short, 1 amma from each side. Right? So the diameter is 6 instead of 8, 1 amma from each side. right? You have to just get that number. That's the clincher here. The diameter is not going to be 8. The diameter is 6, 1 amma from each side. Kama havaluhu, how much, what does that come out to? How much is that? Now, what does it mean? You have to write right on top of that 6 times 3, because if the diameter is 6, kama havaluhu, how much is the whole area around the circle, the circumference? Kama havaluhu, how much is that circle? Tamni siri, it's 18, because if the diameter is 6, the sukkah is now 18. The Gemara asks, wait, the Shivasar nechichum shasagi. Wait, you only need 17 minus the fifth, which is 16.8. So very nice numbers, but that's too much. The Shivasar nechichum shasagi, 16.8 minus the fifth, right? That's enough. You shouldn't need 18. The Gemara says, I know. This is the Loidak. This is where he wasn't at precise. I know the Loidak. He wasn't precise over here. He said you have to do more. 18 instead of 16.8. And then we're adds Uluchumra Loidak. And he said 18 instead of 16.8 to be stringent. He went more stringent. He wasn't precise. Instead of saying 16.8, he said 18. Period. That's it, Rabbi Sai. The Gemara concludes. That is the conclusion of the Gemara. Yehuda Zikavaldik?
Shvach.
Why?
No, it's just.
Is it clear?
No, it's clear what you did. I get what you did. It just doesn't make.
It's not him, it's the Gemara.
I mean, the Gemara is not really making. It's not really.
No, but I want you to without any of the understanding the why the people inside or outside. But you see how the numbers add up, how it works.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Rabbi Yochanan made a statement: a sukkah, a round sukkah that can have 24 people. So 24 people, a circle of 24 people, that's kosher. So we're coming out that if the circle is drawn on the inside of the people are sitting on the outside of the circle. If you have a sukkah that's round, that 24 people can sit around it, it has to be 24 people can sit around that circle, then it's good.
The outside.
The outside. So it comes out that inside of that circle is going to be 16. The inside is going to be 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And there you go. And let's understand this. If the whole thing is 18, certainly you can hold a Rebbe Sukkah. How big is Rebbe Sukkah? Think for a second. How big is Rebbe Sukkah?
16.8.
I'm sorry?
16.8.
Because the circle around Rebbe Sukkah has to be 16.8. Rebbe Sukkah was 16. The circle around Rebbe Sukkah is 16.8. If it's 18, certainly you're able to have it.
And because it's from the outside, so you could use the outside also over here.
If I say, I want just 3 lines to end of this Gemara. Bana the Kisri. The Bana of Kisaya. Ba'amila, others say, Dayani the Kisri. The Dayan, the judges in Kisaya. Amri, they say, Igula, a circle, the Nafik Migai Rivua, that's in the middle of a square. Rivua. The square is 1/4 larger than the circle. If you have a circle in the middle of a square, the square is 1/4 larger. We did that before. Remember, it's 12. The circle was 12, and the square was 16. Okay. They're offering an alternative answer to understand the Yochanan. Look what they say here, Rabbi Sai. Watch this, Rabbi Sai. Look at this. Rivua, but a square. Dinafik migai igula. That's in the middle of a circle. You ready for this, Rabbi Sai? Listen to this one. This is it, Rabbi Sai. Rivua, a square. Dinafik migai igula. Palga. You ready for this?
12, 24.
Listen to this. You need to add half of the square to the circle. I want you to hear that. Rivua, a square, that's in the middle of a circle. Palga, write this down. I beg you, write this down. Palga, you need to add half of the square to the circle. That's the best way to write that in. Palga, you have to add half of the square to the circle before the circle to go
Wait a
around.
minute.
Tysus, this is a picture, you know?
Yeah. Well, I want to hear the numbers. Period. You ready, right side?
Wait, so if it's
Listen to this.
16?
How big? 1 second. How big was Rebbe's sukkah? Rebbe's sukkah, the
16.
square sukkah.
16.
Because 4, 4, 4, 4. Right? Listen to this. If Rebbe's sukkah is 16 and you want to draw a circle around it, they give a new formula. You have to add half of the square. What's half of the square?
8.
8. The square is 16. Half of that is 8.
Okay.
Add 8.
24.
24. The circle has to be 24.
What am I adding 8 to though?
Yeah, 8 plus 4.
If you want to make a circle around the square, you have to make the circle has to have 8 more than the square. Has to have half of the square more.
Right?
Half of the square more.
So basically, you make
So if the square
the
is like
diameter.
this is it.
Square is 16.
If you want to draw a
Half of
circle, you have to add half of the square. Half of the square. So you want to draw a
16,
circle around the
24.
square. How much is half of the square?
8.
8, and then 8 and 16 is
16 and
24.
That's the line. Mo, listen. Listen. You got this.
Oh, yeah.
Not complicated. It's just we do a lot of different things.
I'm done with math.
We finished it now. 1 second. Rabbi say, listen. I beg you, listen. This is line, palga. I beg you, Rabbi say, put in 1 minute of effort now. Look at this. Palga. Palga means you need to add half of the square to the circle.
And half of the square is 8.
So right on the side. If the
square plus half.
Yes. So this is it. Right on the side of my side.
Add half the square.
So if Rebbe's square is 16,
I'm still back here.
1 second. Listen to this. If Rebbe's square is 16, Ellie, can you write down for 1 second?
I wrote it.
Are you ready? If Rebbe's square is 16, to make a circle, you have to add half of that. What's half of that? Another 8. 24. That's how Rabbi Yochanan works out. I say the one thing that should bother us is that we saw, of all the numbers that we saw until now, you don't need that much space. You don't need half of the square. You need kitzad to go around the corners a little bit. 16.8.
1.4 we said, right?
What?
You say you need like 1.4 or something like that to get
Yeah,
it?
but right, we saw over here 16.8.
Yeah.
Do you need to go 24? We never said that. What are the Rabbanan saying over here? If you, Ellie, if the Rabbanan are saying that if you want to go around this square, you need to go 8 more. We worked the numbers before, and we remember we did this whole this was this whole cheshbon. We came with the 16.8. The Gemara says, "Velohi." That's not true. Velohi. That's not true. That formula is not true. That if you want to draw a circle, you have to add half of the square. That's not true. The chazina, because we see with our eyes, the loy habi kuli hai, that it's not so much. You don't have to add on so much to the circle.
Knock them off.
The Gemara saying that doesn't make sense. You hear this?
It's just obviously when you're drawing a circle around the square, it's not that much.
You don't need that half of the square. If you want to make a circle around the square, you don't need half of the square. We worked the numbers. No, 16.8. And this inside was 16.
That's the other way.
Right? So then we're saying the Rabbanan from Kesaria, they wanted to say that if you draw a circle around the square, you have to add half of the square. Rabbi said this is clear. If you draw, the Rabbanan from Kesaria said, I'll tell you how you get 24. We have a formula. This is our formula. If you want to draw a circle around the square, you have to add half of the square to the circle. So if Rebbe's square is 4 on each side, it's 16. So if you add half of that to draw a circle, half of that is another 8. Comes out to how much you have? 24. 24. But the Gemara says that's not possible. If you have a circle that's a square 16, you don't need 24. All you need is 16.8. V'lohi. That's not true. The chazina, we saw the lo yahavi kulahai, that it doesn't need so much more. The circle doesn't need so much more. We're going to say we're stopping on time tonight, and we'll chazin out for 10 minutes.